So upon request, I have decided to review all of the Harry Potter films, starting with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which was directed by Chris Columbus and released in 2001. Arguably, no movie had impacted pop culture to this degree since Star Wars. And for good reason. The first film in this landmark series is great, but before I get into the review, I must say this will not be a review comparing the book to the film. I'm only judging the movie here. So there was a lot riding on this first film, a lot of challenges that its sequels did not have to face. The whole look and feel of the sets throughout the entire series was determined here. Of course, there'd be changes with each film, but the blueprint was established here. And it's a big blueprint. Just think of all that the filmmakers had to cover here, and they pull it off with aplomb. This allows the viewer to sink right into the wizarding world, just as the filmmakers intended. The set design here is incredible, so original, so fantastical, so much world building built right into the sets. This is what sweeps the viewer away into your world. On top of this, the costume design is also some of the best ever. The filmmakers had great attention to detail here, and they really wanted this to feel like its own new, never-before-seen world, and the costumes really add to that effect. This movie is one of the best ever for world building. So many new ideas and so many new places are presented to the viewer, things that they've never heard or even thought of, in such a way that the mind just pieces them all together so perfectly. They achieved a great feat here with that world building, but the audience couldn't take this movie seriously if it had looked fake, which is another thing this movie just rocks at. The mix of CGI and practical effects is something to marvel at in and of itself. This is such an interesting period of time to study special effects. It was a turning point in the special effects industry. Practical effects were going by the wayside in favor of CGI. This film uses a balanced mix of each to an efficient degree. Some of the CGI doesn't hold up as well today, but for the time it was great, and the practical effects still look and feel so real. And oh man, the music. Wow. The music also really helps the viewer just sink into this movie. Is there any debate that John Williams isn't the greatest film composer of all time? Like, no one even comes close to matching how many iconic scores he's done. And the Harry Potter score is one of those. The theme is instantly recognizable from even the most casual of film fans. It evokes a sense of wonder, of magic, and it's even a little ominous. It makes the viewer excited and ready to explore this world of mysteries and learn all about them. And out of all the Harry Potter stories, I think this one has the best mystery behind it. Maybe part of that is due to this being Harry's first time discovering this world as well, but I feel like the mystery element in this story is one of its strongest suits. And sometimes this mystery element can get a little dark, but this film never loses sight of its lighthearted, fun energy. This movie is 2.5 hours long, but there's so much content just stuffed in there that it doesn't feel that long to me. There's so many characters introduced in this film, and not all of them play a huge role, of course, but each one of them makes the world feel that much larger. And the ensemble cast for all these characters is just one of the best ever. Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, Robbie Coltrane, and John Hurt. Wow, this has an incredible supporting cast behind it. But unfortunately, the acting behind these three main child stars was not the strongest. Their delivery on some lines was downright cheesy, but I do think they gave it their all. And even with this movie including so many now famous and often quoted lines, seriously watch this and just count how many lines you remember. The dialogue in the film is packed full of exposition, and this can very easily take the viewer out of the film. I mean, I will say they had a lot of information that they had to stuff into it, just a 2.5 hour time span, I'll give them that. And most of it does help with the world building, and I'd rather have more world building with crappy expositional dialogue than without any world building. So yeah, I will give them that. So overall, this film is just a phenomenal first effort for this first film in the franchise that would grow beyond anything that I'm sure that they ever imagined it would. And I'm going to give Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone a 9 out of 10. What do you guys think of the first Harry Potter film? I'd like to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you for my next review.